Hello, little geniuses. Welcome back to my channel where we make learning English fun and easy for kids. Today's video is very special because I'm going to show you pictures of 200 wild animals, and I will tell you their names and the names of the sounds they make. So get ready to meet some amazing animals from all over the world. For each animal, I will say the name of the animal and the name of its sound. Then I will ask you if you can say the same, so you can practice your pronunciation. This is a lion. The sound of a lion is called a roar. Can you say roar? Very good. This is a tiger. The sound of a tiger is called a growl or roar. Can you say growl or roar? Well done. This is a leopard. The sound of a leopard is called a growl. Can you say growl? Excellent. This is a cheetah. The sound of a cheetah is called a chirp. Can you say chirp? Fantastic. This is a jaguar. The sound of a jaguar is called a growl or roar. Can you say growl or roar? Amazing. This is a panther. The sound of a panther is called a roar. Can you say roar? Super. This is a hyena. The sound of a hyena is called a laugh or giggle. Can you say laugh or giggle? Wow. This is a wolf. The sound of a wolf is called a howl. Can you say howl? Great. This is a fox. The sound of a fox is called a bark or scream. Can you say bark or scream? Fantastic. This is a dog. The sound of a dog is called a bark. Can you say bark? Excellent. This is a cat. The sound of a cat is called a meow. Can you say meow? Well done. This is a horse. The sound of a horse is called a neigh or whinny. Can you say neigh or whinny? Wow, this is a donkey. The sound of a donkey is called a bray. Can you say bray? Great. This is a mule. The sound of a mule is called a bray or hee-haw. Can you say bray or hee-haw? Fantastic. This is a cow. The sound of a cow is called a moo. Can you say moo? Amazing. This is a bull. The sound of a bull is called a bellow. Can you say bellow? Super. This is a calf. The sound of a calf is called a bleat. Can you say bleat? Fantastic. This is a goat. The sound of a goat is called a bleat. Can you say bleat? Well done. This is a sheep. The sound of a sheep is called a baa or bleat. Can you say baa or bleat? Great. This is a lamb. The sound of a lamb is called a baa, bleat or meh. Can you say baa, bleat or meh? Fantastic. This is a pig. The sound of a pig is called an oink or grunt. Can you say oink or grunt? Well done. This is a boar. The sound of a boar is called a grunt or snort. Can you say grunt or snort? Good job. This is a camel. The sound of a camel is called a grunt or moan. Can you say grunt or moan? Fantastic. This is a llama. The sound of a llama is called a hum. Can you say hum? Well done. This is an alpaca. The sound of an alpaca is called a hum. Can you say hum? Good job. This is a deer. The sound of a deer is called a bellow. Can you say bellow? Fantastic. This is an elk. The sound of an elk is called a bugle. Can you say bugle? Well done. This is a moose. The sound of a moose is called a bellow. Can you say bellow? Great. This is reindeer. The sound of a reindeer is called a grunt. Can you say grunt? Fantastic. This is a bison. The sound of a bison is called a grunt or bellow. Can you say grunt or bellow? Well done. This is a buffalo. The sound of a buffalo is called a bellow. Can you say bellow? Good job. This is a giraffe. The sound of a giraffe is called a hum. Can you say hum? Fantastic. Giraffe also produce snorts, grunts, or moans when interacting or expressing discomfort. This is a zebra. The sound of a zebra is called a whinny or bark. Can you say whinny or bark? Well done. This is a rhinoceros. The sound of a rhinoceros is called a snort. Can you say snort? Good job. This is a hippopotamus. The sound of a hippopotamus is called a grunt or wheeze. Can you say grunt or wheeze? Fantastic. This is an elephant. The sound of an elephant is called a trumpet. Can you say trumpet? Well done. The elephant also make low-frequency rumbles, which can travel long distances. This is a monkey. The sound of a monkey is called a chatter. Can you say chatter? Good job. This is a chimpanzee. The sound of a chimpanzee is called a hoot. Can you say hoot? Fantastic. This is a gorilla. The sound of a gorilla is called a grunt or belch. Can you say grunt or belch? Well done. The gorilla also make hoot, bark, or roar. This is a baboon. The sound of a baboon is called a bark or wahoo. Can you say bark or wahoo? Good job. This is an orangutan. The sound of an orangutan is called a long call. Can you say long call? Fantastic. This is a sloth. The sound of a sloth is called a cry or hiss. Can you say cry or hiss? Well done. This is an anteater. The sound of an anteater is called a sniff. Can you say sniff? Good job. This is an armadillo. The sound of an armadillo is called a grunt or scream. Can you say grunt or scream? Fantastic. This is a hedgehog. The sound of a hedgehog is called a snuffle. Can you say snuffle? Well done. This is a porcupine. The sound of a porcupine is called a whine. Can you say whine? Good job. This is a rabbit. The sound of a rabbit is called a thump or squeak. Can you say thump or squeak? Fantastic. This is a hare. The sound of a hare is called a squeak. Can you say squeak? Well done. This is a mouse. The sound of a mouse is called a squeak. Can you say squeak? Good job. This is a rat. The sound of a rat is called a squeak. Can you say squeak? Fantastic. This is a bat. The sound of a bat is called a screech. Can you say screech? Good job. This is a mole. The sound of a mole is called a squeak. Can you say squeak? Fantastic. This is a squirrel. The sound of a squirrel is called a squeak or bark. Can you say squeak or bark? Well done. This is a beaver. The sound of a beaver is called a slap, like the sound of its tail. Can you say slap? Good job. This is an otter. The sound of an otter is called a chirp. Can you say chirp? Fantastic. This is a raccoon. The sound of a raccoon is called a trill or chatter. Can you say trill or chatter? Well done. This is a skunk. The sound of a skunk is called a hiss. Can you say hiss? Good job. This is a panda. The sound of a panda is called a bleat. Can you say bleat? Fantastic. This is a koala. The sound of a koala is called a bellow. Can you say bellow? Well done. This is a kangaroo. The sound of a kangaroo is called a chortle. Can you say chortle? Good job. This is a wallaby. The sound of a wallaby is called a chatter. Can you say chatter? Fantastic. This is a Tasmanian devil. The sound of a Tasmanian devil is called a scream. Can you say scream? Well done. This is a platypus. The sound of a platypus is called a growl. Can you say growl? Good job. This is an opossum. The sound of an opossum is called a growl. Can you say growl? Fantastic. This is a wombat. The sound of a wombat is called a grunt. Can you say grunt? Well done. This is a lemur. The sound of a lemur is called a wail. Can you say wail? Good job. This is a meerkat. The sound of a meerkat is called a chirp. Can you say chirp? Fantastic. This is a mongoose. The sound of a mongoose is called a chirp or growl. Can you say chirp or growl? Well done. This is a badger. The sound of a badger is called a growl. Can you say growl? Good job. This is a weasel. The sound of a weasel is called a chirp. Can you say chirp? Fantastic. This is a ferret. The sound of a ferret is called a duke. Can you say duke? Well done. This is a seal. The sound of a seal is called a bark. Can you say bark? Good job. This is a sea lion. The sound of a sea lion is called a bark. Can you say bark? Fantastic. This is a walrus. The sound of a walrus is called a roar. Can you say roar? Well done. This is a dolphin. The sound of a dolphin is called a click or whistle. Can you say click or whistle? Good job. This is a whale. The sound of a whale is called a song or click. Can you say song or click? Fantastic. This is an orca. The sound of an orca is called a whistle or call. Can you say whistle or call? Well done. This is a manatee. The sound of a manatee is called a chirp. Can you say chirp? Good job. This is a dugong. The sound of a dugong is called a chirp. Can you say chirp? Fantastic. This is a polar bear. The sound of a polar bear is called a roar. Can you say roar? Well done.